Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are checking out Rope. I think this is an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Yeah, it is. I should definitely know this. It is an Alfred Hitchcock movie made in 1948, and I don't really know anything about it, but I was suggested this movie by one of my patrons, Benny Ford. Thank you so much for suggesting this movie. I'm very excited to check it out. I've been wanting to watch Alfred Hitchcock movies for a while now. I just have not watched a lot of them before, and I've heard a lot about him obviously because I'm into film, and for some reason I have just somehow managed to avoid his movies. So I will be checking out Rope today, and I'm very excited for this movie because I heard that this movie is basically a one-shot movie with the reels of film. So whenever he was shooting this movie, he would shoot one shot with the reel of film. The film would expire, and I guess that would be or not expire, I guess, but the film would roll, and then when it would end, I guess that's when the cut would happen or something like that. So I'm very excited because if it is like that, that's a lot of planning because you have this one take, you have film, the cameras were pretty big and clunky back then, so it's a lot harder to kind of plan your scenes out than maybe it is now, and then also to time your cuts with when the film ends so you don't waste film, because wasting film would be wasting money. So if that is the case, if this is what this movie has in store for me, I am very excited because I am just excited to see the craftsmanship behind this movie. Besides that, I don't know the story of this movie. I don't know anything else about this movie. That is the only bit of information that I know, and I could even be wrong on that front, but I'm pretty sure that Rope is the movie where Alfred Hitchcock uses the film to its max, and then when the film cut, or like the film actually that they're shooting on cuts, then the movie will cut itself. But I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. But yeah, before we jump into this movie, let's do the lighting. The lighting may be hard to see today because it is basically the afternoon. It is like 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's pretty bright outside at the moment. It's like a beautiful sunny day, and I'm in here watching a movie, but I'm excited to watch this movie. But anyways, the lighting may be hard to see today just because it's so bright. My blinds don't really do anything to stop the light coming in, as you can tell. But yeah, anyways, let's do the lighting. Boop. Nice. See, I don't know if you can even see a difference, or if you can't see a difference. I don't know what it looks like for you guys. I'll just have to see in the edit, I guess, how much the lighting does. But I don't know what I want to do for the lighting today. Rope color I think is like an orangey, it's like a yellowy beige, but you can't really see yellowy beige on a day like today, so I'm going more orange for the lighting. Don't know again how good the lighting is going to look. Don't know if orange is even the right color, but my color is to signify a rope. Even though rope is more like a beige color, like basically my skin color in a way, orange is the best. Orange is the best you're gonna get. Anyways, let's just dive on into this reaction now. I hope you enjoy my reaction to Rope. James Stewart in Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. I don't know who James Stewart is. Was he a famous actor back then?
Open it.
They just killed someone with rope. Is rope the murder weapon? Is that why it's called rope?
We've got to see if there's
I know. Not just yet. Let's stay this way for a minute.
Seems like they very much regret killing this person, or they're having a hard time coping with it.
We don't have too much time. It's the darkness that's got you down. Nobody ever feels really safe in the dark. Nobody who's ever a child, that is. I'll open these, all right?
No.
Pity we couldn't have done it with the curtains open in the bright sunlight.
This guy doesn't seem nearly as affected.
You, perhaps. You frightened me. You always have. From that very first day in prep school. Part of your charm.
This movie's enthralling already. It's kind of cool. I don't think I've said much.
Turning on you a little.
That's right.
Feels like Brandon has either done this before, or he just has a colder heart.
May I
Also, look what they did with the costumes. Brandon's costume is way more
This is an occasion. It
like,
calls for
pristine,
champagne.
proper. He looks more important,
I put
and
some in the icebox.
Philip's
When
costume's
did
a
you
lot
put it
more
there,
loose,
Oh, just
and
before
so he
David
looks
arrived.
younger and
He was
less
certain it would
confident.
come off
I don't know,
orange.
it's
Of
interesting.
course, of danger and for the sake of killing. We're alive.
Is
Truly
that their
and
motivation?
wonderfully
That's
alive.
it? Just for the sake of killing?
Even committing it. Nobody except us.
Oh my god, it was just an experiment to them? Can we commit the perfect murder? Ugh. Gives me yucky feelings. These guys.
No, the party's the inspired finishing touch to our work. It's more. It's the
Wait, what the
signature
heck?
of the
Are
artist.
they're having a
Not
party
having it would be
here
like,
with David in
painting
the
the picture
wooden
and
box?
not-
They are David's mother and father.
That doesn't make them any easier to talk to.
What?
Oh, don't worry.
What?
Janet
This
will
guy
be buttering
is
them up,
so
poor
cruel.
girl. Take the other one.
What for?
Never mind. Come with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he has an idea or
What's
something.
this?
Making our work of art a masterpiece.
Brandon, you're going too far.
Why?
Yeah,
What do you
Brandon.
mean?
Brandon, you're going way too far here.
Just on this.
On his dead body.
Good
His
idea.
parents are gonna be eating
Well,
on his dead body.
we don't have too much time. Mrs. Wilson will be coming back soon. Did you forget to bar her key?
You can see the rope sticking out
I
of the
didn't
table.
forget.
Oh my
have a
god.
key.
Is
I
someone
totally
gonna
lost
see
it.
that and
Good.
open it? They haven't noticed the rope hanging out from the table. I feel like this is gonna be their downfall. Why am I even rooting for them? I really like Philip. I don't like Brandon.
Mrs. Wilson.
This is an amazing movie so far. This is really cool, and I have been like entranced by it. The camera work is amazing. Look at the rope.
Please and get a hold of yourself. If you let me keep the light on before as I'd wanted,
Okay,
I
they
would
got
have
the
seen.
rope.
All right. I won't let either of us stoop.
See, Brandon seems the type of guy who would do this for fun, for like the experiment of it. But Philip doesn't. Philip, why is Philip
You owe
along
me
for the ride here?
Mrs. Wilson,
So awkward. He's so awkward.
We're just moving the things in here,
Dude, you're holding the rope in your hand.
which you can heap with the foods for our sacrificial feast.
Heap is right.
Our sacrificial
Enough room for me to
feast.
set
Stop
things out properly,
trying to
isn't
allude
it?
to it. The guy
Oh, you
under
can
the
make-
table.
Down
This
with
is
the
like
books.
Alfred
we'll lay them
Hitchcock's
out on
bomb
the
thing,
dining
where
room table.
an ordinary
Crazy idea, if you
conversation
ask me.
just at a
Well,
dinner
I have too
table
much to
is
do to
could be
discuss this
boring,
thoroughly
but once
there.
you
I'll
introduce
never-
the bomb
Don't.
under the table, it gets super interesting. And this is
I was
exactly
sure she'd
it.
notice.
Dude, the camera work in this movie is actually insane, and I really want to know how they did it.
No,
Working for Mr.
you
Goodell.
didn't.
Such a gentleman. Of course, some people.
Philip is gonna break. I feel like Philip is gonna snap at some point.
The artistic one. That's what's
I'm
exciting.
glad it excites you. It frightens me.
The
I know, but I-
artistic angle. Ew.
I think this last minute hustle bustle if you kept my table and let those roll.
Now
You know, Brandon
fun
kind of looks like
begins.
Ben Affleck a little bit. Don't you think? He looks a little bit like Ben Affleck.
Hello, come in. How are
Oh
you?
my god, stop, stop, stop.
Really, almost the opposite. The opposite. Philip's bidding the world a temporary.
It's really
farewell tonight. I'm driving him
almost
up to
the
Connecticut after
opposite.
lunch.
I love it.
David going to be here?
Of course.
Oh my god.
May I? Help yourself.
They're
And
dating?
cheer up. I habits with the young lady are much better than you think. What do you mean?
Something I just realized?
Janet.
There's been no music. This entire time, there's
Hello,
been no
Doc.
music.
Angel.
And I've
Careful
been
of my hair, it
actually
took hours.
invested. Ugh,
Oh,
so awkward.
isn't
It's
that
so
painting
awkward.
new?
Anyone else coming besides the Kenneth? Yes. Another old friend.
She's good.
This.
But,
Why did you invite Kenneth?
oh, why not?
I like
Perfectly
Kenneth.
Well, peachy.
I'm terribly sorry, but it is a little difficult trying
He's
to keep
literally
up with your
gathered
romances.
all of David's
After
friends
me
and
came
family
Kenneth. Now it's
for
David.
dinner on
I
David.
suppose Kenneth means Rupert's impatience with social conventions.
I love this movie.
For example, he thinks murder is a crime for most men, but
A privilege for the few.
That doesn't make no.
privilege.
Murder
Well,
is
there's time,
literally
though,
a
I
crime.
Mrs. Wilson, I'll
End
answer
of
the door.
story.
Killed him.
This is all way over my head.
David.
Oh, no, this is, you've made a mistake. This is Kenneth Laurents.
I'm so
Oh my
sorry.
god, Philip.
That's all right, Anita. Kenneth
Philip,
is often mistaken
what are you
for David
doing?
by people who are
You're bleeding.
We haven't had much opportunity to observe the resemblance lately, my boy. Haven't
You
been
got super
studying,
nervous
have
because
you?
these are David's parents.
Telescope just before we came. Oh, tell. The stars are
very kind.
She's a
They
horoscope
indicated marriage
lady.
very
Oh
soon.
no.
Mr. Kelly, may I get you some?
Well, I'd prefer a little scotch with a lot of water, if you don't mind. Is David here?
Yes.
I'm
excited for everyone to get drugged.
Yes. I'll go and call.
This is insane. It still has not cut.
In your glass. No, that'd be too much of a shock.
When were you born?
July 14th. Can you really tell my future from
There's the
that?
cut. There's the cut. There's the cut. There's the cut. There's the cut.
sure you're
That's the
very
cut. That's the cut.
I
That's
do
the
my
cut.
best. You're a moon child. You're very much influenced by the moon. May I see your hand?
I wonder how many takes
You
it
don't
did of
remember
everything,
the
or if
art
they
of
just
your
did one
birth,
take. They
by
just
any
made them practice,
No.
practice, practice. Did it once in real life. Called it
Good
quits.
leader.
If you made a mistake, you
Strong.
made a mistake. He's good. He's very good.
I used to be.
Then you must have taught my son, David.
Well, you flatter me. How do you do?
Hello, chum.
Oh, Miss Walker.
Chum, I want to
you
say that
know?
to people now.
Brandon's
Hello,
daughter.
chum.
First editions. Then it turned out Philip and I were going up to the country
Yeah,
tonight.
you told me that too, Brandon.
Did I?
Yeah.
Brandon is
Well, I
nervous.
make it excited. Well, I guess I'm always excited.
Yeah,
for
Brandon,
my
you're
dinner
acting
party.
weird now.
Mr. Goodell.
Oh, Miss Wilson.
But Rupert is very
Wow.
observant. But I guess, what, he was like a
Thank you.
philosopher.
I hope David gets here soon.
Yes, where is David?
I haven't the faintest idea, but he's so late, Mr.
He's
Kent's
literally-
getting annoyed.
And you-
Right there.
The mistletoe bough. That was always your favorite tale, wasn't it?
Oh no,
What
was
was
he
that
telling
one about?
murder stories
I don't
about
remember
chess?
exactly how it's...
Don't think I'll get that playful.
Would you all please help yourselves?
Talking of skeletons.
Oh.
You listen as much as Harold Flynn.
I'll take Cary Grant myself.
Oh, so will I.
I wonder if these are people that were
Capricorn, but
actually
don't he
famous back
live
then.
Like all these, you know.
Oh, I think she's lovely.
I once went to the movies. I saw Mary...
I once
I was
went to the
mad.
movies.
Something rather like that.
I don't believe you ever went.
I don't believe this guy ever watches movies.
Petty dear.
Come on, Dennis. Don't be polite. Philip, would you
Dude,
mind
I love
helping
how they
Mrs.
keep
Mrs.
slowly
Atwater?
talking
glad to.
a little bit
You sit
more
down,
about
Mrs.
David,
Atwater.
you know?
Thank
It's so
you so
good.
much, dear
Like they
boy.
start talking about the chess and then it cuts to movie and then they start talking about movies and
He's
stuff.
only in
Oh,
town
it's
for the
so good.
weekend, Mr.
Its
Kenley, and
script
David
is
a very
amazing.
popular young man.
Freud says there's a reason for everything. Even
Yeah.
me.
There's no
It's true.
reason, Jen.
Well, as I
Philip, you're
remember,
acting
you have a
so
very funny
weird.
reason.
It was a lovely Sunday morning in late spring. Across the valley, the church bells were ringing. And
Too
in the
many- too
yard,
much
Philip was
information.
doing
I think he's
likewise to the
lying.
next- Like Lazarus, he rose.
That's a lie.
Philip.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
was gonna
word
say,
of
too
truth
many
in the whole
details.
story.
Brandon's lying.
I never...
Forgive me, but it just seemed very funny, you two being so intense about an
I
old
think
dead
that was
chicken.
another cut as well, and I just did not notice it.
So, Rupert,
Oh, what a pity. In another moment, you might have been strangling each other instead of a chicken.
Strangling. Oh, they keep alluding to
A
it.
man's honor was at stake.
Frightful.
A very simple matter. A flick of the knife, madame. And if you'll kindly
This guy
step
cannot be
way.
condoning
Oh, no,
murder at the
step
moment. He
over
cannot
the
be
head waiter's
condoning
order.
murder.
By slow torture category.
Oh.
Along with bird lovers, small children, and tap dancers.
Bird
Landlords,
lovers.
of course, are another matter.
inferior beings whose lives are unimportant anyway.
Obviously. Now, mind you, I don't hold with the
I cannot believe this
extreme view that
conversation
the
is
open
happening right
season
now.
Prefer to have cut a throat week.
Yeah, it's literally the purge. He's talking about the
Strangulation.
purge.
The notion that murder is an art which a few superior beings should be allowed to practice.
In season.
Who gets to choose those superior
No, I know
beings,
you're
though?
not.
Sure, Rupert, fortunately,
Oh, now, gentlemen,
has
really,
the intelligence and imagination
Please,
to...
Brandon, I think we've had just about enough.
Brandon, you're getting out of hand here. I hate Brandon's worldviews. Rupert's
Philip,
worldviews are bad, but
where did you put those
Brandon's...
books you set out
are
for
a lot
Mr. Kentley?
worse.
I'd very much...
Afraid I let myself get carried away.
Oh, that's quite all right, my boy.
I think it's a good collection.
No, it isn't.
Presentations
He was literally just
Yes,
saying
I'd
that
like to
murder is
see them.
okay and that he is
May I use
smarter
the
than
telephone
everyone else.
first? I'd like
Therefore,
to
he
talk to
can
my wife. She may
murder
have
people.
some word.
Quite a bit.
Oh, we all do strange things in our childhood.
Reading's not strange.
Why don't you...
Never thought I could be, did you?
Honestly? No.
Well,
A lot of cigarettes.
Like
Everyone
one
is
bit.
smoking a cigarette constantly.
Well, you and David used to be such good friends, and you're not now. It's my fault. I'm such
can't
an
blame
idiot
yourself for
girl.
that.
Just couldn't be the gay girl. I just relaxed and let everything pour out.
It's weird watching movies
The
like this and they
real
use
me
different
stuff.
words that mean different things
Did you
now.
hear that little phrase?
It's kind of, it's
I
very
hear myself
interesting
saying
in a
things like that.
linguistic perspective.
Brandon is atmospheric music. You are in love with David, aren't you?
Yes.
Ah, she sounded like she hesitated there.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Pretended to be completely ignorant when I told him. He
What's
said,
going on here anyway?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out once and for all.
Yes, they're starting to unravel the puzzle pieces.
Brandon.
Yes.
Some women are quite charming when they're angry, Janet. Unfortunately, you're not.
Cut that out, Brandon.
Well, chivalry
Brandon,
wears
shut
its
up.
ugly head.
It's really impossible.
Something gone wrong, Brandon?
No, Janet
Those look
just has a
good.
talent
I
for
want
being
whatever
bothered
that is,
sometimes.
like ice cream sundae.
One for you and one for me, my love.
Oh, Mr. C.
Well, the others don't seem to be in the mood for ice
Rupert
cream.
is catching on. Rupert is definitely catching on.
Usually, he lets me prepare everything in my own way, but look at this. Chicken's hardly been touched.
This is a first for the camera angle.
Different today.
Oh, just beautiful. Of course, unless they use the apple. Think of putting flowers.
Open the chest. Oh my god. You can't say Brandon, because then everyone's gonna be like, what the heck are you shouting for?
Is she still harping on her table and how awkward it is to serve from this? But it's really much more convenient, you know. Because this way, people don't have to go all the way into the dining room to get their food and come all the way back here to eat.
Seems to me they've gone all the way in there now for their dessert and coffee.
Mrs. Wilson, please
True.
serve the guests. Don't lecture them.
We did get up on the wrong side of the bed, didn't we?
He knows. He knows. He definitely knows, or at least suspects.
You know, Philip, I get quite intrigued when people don't answer questions, and quite curious.
Yeah, you literally just
Did you
avoided
ask
the
me a
question.
No, Brandon.
You can't be acting strangely around this guy. He's literally... He's a psychologist or a philosopher. He's one of the two, I forget. But he's someone that knows people and people's emotions.
What do you suspect?
Oh, I've forgotten.
No, you haven't.
David, Philip.
Rupert.
You're,
You almost passed it off.
more
There's
than
obviously
usually
something
allergic
going on.
to
You can't pass off that there's nothing going on anymore.
Second, about a year ago, I was up at the farm, you remember? One morning,
The
I
metronome
saw you
on is
playing
making everything more
handiwork.
stressful.
Because I don't like to talk about...
About what?
I
Strangling?
can't play with that thing.
I want you to have them very much.
It's extremely generous of you.
The
Brandon.
rope.
I don't know.
Please, I know
The
you
rope.
appreciate first editions
He's
far
using
more
the
than I
rope.
understand.
I mean, I don't care if he has them. I just... What?
No
What?
word from David.
I just think it's a clumsy way of tying them up, that's all.
David never had any trouble taking
Oh my god, it's so... He's making it so obvious.
He isn't no let up.
Got to have a drink, Brandon. Enough. You're not... Take your hand off my arm. Don't you ever...
Rupert is
again.
obviously onto something. There is no way that he is not onto something.
I don't like
He's
it,
literally
Brandon.
here
I'm
right
not
now.
going to take it.
Do you suppose David could possibly be home?
I don't know, Janet. I hope so.
I hate to throw a damper, but if David was home...
They're clearing the table, they're clearing the table, they're clearing the table. You know what that
You say
means?
so, Brandon?
The chest is
I
gonna be
wouldn't know.
open.
The David I
Well,
remember was very
just
polite,
out in
as
the
well as very
open with
punctual.
nothing on it.
He wasn't there?
No. I left a message just in case, but...
We might have a better chance of finding out where he is now if we knew where he was this afternoon.
This is such a well-crafted
I
shot.
haven't the least idea where he was this
They're
afternoon.
talking about
Don't
him
you
and it's
think
just
it would help if
focusing
we
on her
found out
cleaning the
where he
table
was?
with him on it.
I suppose
Or
so.
under it. Oh,
I
it's so
know.
good.
Well, then, obviously, David ran into someone at the club who changed his plans. You weren't there this afternoon.
No, 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 no,
Wish
no,
I
no,
had
no,
been.
no, no, no,
I
no,
don't
no,
suppose
no,
you
no.
or Brandon were, Philip.
No.
Hardly. We had our
Oh
hands
my
full getting
god,
ready
she
for the
has to
party.
put the books
Oh, there was
back
a lot
in
to
the
be done this
thing, in the chest. Do it though, do it, just open it.
Just in the morning.
Really?
Yes, you did. I'd forgotten.
Oh, what were you talking to him about?
No, no, no,
Did he
no,
call
no.
about the party?
Yes, he
Oh my
wanted to
God,
make
I'm so
sure about the
stressed right
time,
now.
That was all.
Well, I didn't have any idea of coming in the morning.
Well, I'm afraid you have to. Just let the books go for now.
Well,
How suspicious is that? How suspicious is that?
He may have had an accident. She wants you to call the police.
The police?
Oh, no. Anita, I
Dude,
don't
Rupert
think
is
it's
looking
necessary.
at Philip's reaction when this
Child.
conversation is going on. That's cool.
Oh, Mr. Kentley, your books.
Oh, yes.
I can't tell you how sorry I am. Would
The
you call me
rope
as soon
that
as you
was
hear from
used to
David?
kill his son is
I'm sure
wrapped
the dear boy
around
will
his
turn up
books.
some-
Thanks.
I'll get my hat.
Oh, going with Janet?
Yes, we're all going together.
What did I predict?
Oh my goodness, Brandon, get out of here. Go home.
Good night, Mr. Kentley. I hope Mrs.
Rupert
Kentley
is
gets
still
better
here.
very soon. Thank you.
But they wanted Rupert, right? They kind of want
will
to show
call me the
Rupert
moment you
it.
hear from me.
That's David. It's David.
You couldn't possibly spoil it, Mr. Kentley.
Well, I meant by leaving so early. Good night. Be careful.
He's figured it out. He has figured it out. Dude, the sense of, like, for some reason, relief or, like, tension that I just left my body when they all left is...
Wanted to say to those idiots, he gave the party the very touch I predicted.
The touch of what?
Yeah, Rupert
Right.
knows.
At least if I have a hangover, it'll be all mine.
You know, Philip, I've been thinking, we
This is
deserve
good.
a real
This is
holiday
really
after
good.
it's
This
all
is
over.
really, really good.
Where would
I
you like
really
to
like
go?
this. This is really good.
Of course, we're driving up all right.
Oh, well, that's good. You don't look too well, either one of you. Oh, thanks. Of course, I could do with the rest myself.
You've been drinking,
but I
you can't
want both
drive.
of you-
Who's that? Brandon, who's that?
Is it Rupert?
My
Is
car
it
keys,
Rupert?
answer it.
Also, you just had a party. Someone could have forgotten something, so obviously you're going to be home. You're not just going to dip a second after your party at your house.
I won't.
Get back to that phone.
Brandon, I can't.
You've got to.
No, he knows. Shut
up.
Brandon, you manipulative little chum.
Of you or anyone else, no one is going to get in my way now.
Dude, I feel like he could kill you. I feel like he's at the point where he will kill you, Philip. So you, I don't know. You better listen to him. Even though I hate Brandon, like I actually despise him. That could have been a cut. That could have been a cut.
Is it?
Oh, showing the camera. Oh.
Well, that's a very good idea. May I have one for the road? Of course. A short one? No, I'd prefer a long one if you don't mind. Not at all. Philip,
5
through for
minutes.
a drink? Now,
Sure
let's see.
thing.
I think
This is the dangerous game we're playing, Rupert.
Well, you might be, what? Tired. You're sure it's all right?
He said you could have it.
Thank you. Don't
Oh
mind
my God,
I'm
Philip! You
afraid
just
he's,
yelled at him,
He's had
man.
a few too
You're
many.
breaking.
Well,
You're
why not?
breaking.
Why not? After all, it was a party. Well,
Brandon
it's
literally
very
looks like a
pleasant to sit here with
Terminator. You know, emotionless.
You are driving up to Connecticut tonight, aren't you? Yes, but we're all packed. Oh, I see. All ready.
Okay, you guys are standing
except
so
one guest.
suspiciously around him.
Unless I was thinking about David. What
Oh
was,
my God!
strange about
Brandon looks at Philip. Philip
He's
looks
not
where David
showing up.
is.
You get David out of the way. Now, you're much better at this sort of thing than I am. No, but what would you do if you were I?
Brandon admires this guy.
So I'd move quietly around behind the chair and hit him on the head with something.
And that's why the chair
Or I'd
cushion
fall
was moved,
forward
right?
on the floor. That is, unless you came back to find something besides your cigarette case. You
Oh
may, for
my
example,
God.
to you, but well, here you can relax. I have to take it up to the country.
There's
several
lily bullets in
burglaries
it.
and Mothers. Suspense. You were right, Philip.
The side,
Folks
the
were
light.
tied. But Anna, will you step over there, please? Philip's drunk, Rupert. Surely you don't take those nightmare ideas.
Step
serious.
over there.
Rupert, to look inside that chest. All right. Go ahead and look. I hope you like what you see.
Sounds so evil. The cut.
Couldn't believe it was true. Rupert, please, what?
Get out of here, Brandon.
Just listen. Don't hold for the intellectually superior. Remember, Rupert? Yes, I remember. Well, that's all we've
Rupert's
done.
realizing
That's
his
all
ideals
Philip and I have
are
done.
wrong. I hope so, at
He and
least.
I have.
Brandon is intellectually inferior.
And superior intellect. And you've thrown my own words right back in my face, Brandon.
Yes,
You were
he's
right.
realized.
To. By what right do you
dare say that there's a superior few to which you belong? By what right did you...
I'm really nervous that he's going to die too. How did the full final act only take place in this one room? That is incredible. Play piano and take a drink, your last sip of freedom. And that was my reaction to Rope, the 1948 thriller crime amazing long take movie starring Farley, Granger, James Stewart, Dall, Joan, Chandler, Douglas Dick, Dick Hogan. That's funny, Douglas Dick and then Dick Hogan. That's kind of funny. And some other people in this movie. There wasn't a large cast, actually. There were only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in this entire movie. And that is, of course, because there was like a party, right? And man, this movie was good. This movie blew me away. There were so many amazing filming techniques and like just filming style, just the script, the camera work, the lack of score, the acting ability was so good. This movie was top notch, and I think this was one of the best movies for me to watch to get into Alfred Hitchcock movies. I will hopefully be watching a lot more of them as the year goes on and as this channel continues to grow. Hopefully I will be getting into more Alfred Hitchcock movies, but this movie definitely made me want to start watching more of them. It had just everything I wanted from this movie, and it surprised me and surpassed my expectations. I knew Alfred Hitchcock was good. I knew he was good, but this was on another level. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. But anyways, first I'd like to talk about the reviews for this movie. They're not that interesting. IMDb is an 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is 94%. Everyone likes this movie apparently. So I'm glad that I like this movie, and I'm not dumb for liking this movie. Everyone apparently likes this movie to some degree, and I would agree with everyone else. This movie is, in some ways, kind of a masterpiece, and in some ways an inspiration for a lot of movies to come. And I find that really cool. First thing I'd like to talk about is the music. There was no music, and I really like that. I guess not so much the music is so much the soundscape of the movie, the sound design of the movie. I really liked that there was no music, and that the only time that there ever was music was either when someone would put on music themselves, Philip would play the piano. That was it. There was no other or. Those were the only times that there was music. And the other sounds that happened were sounds in the background, were people chatting in the background, were maybe cars going by, sirens going by. Oh my gosh, was it immersive. The sound design with the camera work was phenomenal. The sound design, because there was no music, and because every single sound in the movie, apart from the very start when the credits are rolling and the very end when the end sign comes up, every single sound in the movie was a sound heard by the characters. And that made it so immersive because, again, because of the long takes, because the sound design, every single sound was heard by the characters, it made you feel part of the scene. And there were parts of this reaction, if you were watching the uncut reaction, where I probably didn't talk for like 10 minutes. And that was because I was just in the scene. Like, I just felt like I was sitting there in a chair or walking around in this party, talking to these characters. Even though I knew there was a dead body, it felt like I was still part of this party. And the immersive filmmaking in this movie was incredible. The sound design in this movie, the choice to not have music besides music that the characters can hear, was an amazing choice, and one that I thought worked very, very well for this movie. This movie's camera work is next, and actually, before I get into the camera work, there is this one scene that I'd like to talk about quickly. I guess there's only like 5 scenes in this entire movie, and it's when the camera cuts, but there's this one part of the movie where a siren starts to blare. It's like Rupert and Philip are talking at the piano, I believe, and then a siren starts to blare. And I think that when the siren started to blare, it kind of signified a turning point in the movie. I'm not too sure. I have to rewatch this movie. I would love to rewatch this movie at some point. But to me, the siren felt like it was signifying a change in dynamics in the movie. It was signifying that Rupert has finally caught on almost fully, that Philip and Brandon were very close to getting caught, and the siren kind of signified that. It was like an emergency almost for Philip and Brandon, and I thought that was really cool. That's how I perceived the siren. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I thought that was a cool little addition to the movie that I thought about when I heard the siren, and it still makes sense to me after the movie. So maybe that is something that was intended. But anyways, getting to the camera work now. The camera work in this movie was phenomenal. This long takes, the long takes, the long takes, the long takes. This whole movie was a long take after long take after long take. They hid the cuts well. Well, I mean, they didn't really hide the cuts for the most part, whenever they did a cut, it was like push into something, complete black, push out. And sometimes it was awkward. Sometimes it was like, okay, the camera, like what is the choice? It's like, if you didn't know filmmaking, if you didn't know that was to signify a cut in the movie, that was probably because the film reels ran out and stuff. You'd be like, okay, why are they doing this? Like, why the heck are they pushing into someone and then pushing out like 2 seconds later? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. So sometimes it was a little clunky, it was a little awkward, but man, they did a good job, especially for back in 1948. This is probably the best they could have done for a long take movie, and they did a crazy job. I don't know if this was the first movie to utilize long takes, but I'm sure it was probably the first movie to utilize extensively long takes. The only cut that was shorter than like a minute or maybe even 2 minutes was the very start, when it was just outside, pans to the window, scream, right? But that cut was that take was still like 2 minutes long because it had credits. That was the shortest one. Every other one was like half an hour long, 25 minutes long, 20 minutes long, something like that. And it was just incredible to watch, again, because of the camera, because of the, I forget if it's diegetic sound or non-diegetic sound. Can someone please let me know if they know the difference between the terms? I learned about it once, forgot, just kind of, it's just escaped my mind. I remember the terms, I just don't remember which one it means only characters can hear it and which one means characters cannot hear it. But anyways, the sound as well, the sound design, the camera work, just total immersion in this movie, and it had me speechless for some of it just because of how amazingly well done it was. Another thing that is really interesting is how they managed to create such an enthralling story in such an enclosed space. They never left the house the entire movie. It was solely in the house. Living room, dining room, hallway. And I know movies have done that before. I've seen 12 Angry Men. What an amazing movie that is. Just solely in this courtroom, right? And they managed to make it super interesting. They managed to have the camera do different things at different points to make sure the audience can either be subtly or very visibly conscious of who's in power, who's not in power. You know, camera tilts up for when someone's in power and then slowly starts to tilt down throughout the, 12 Angry Men is a masterpiece of how to film something in one room for almost the entire movie. This movie as well is incredible, and I think that this movie works as well as it did, not because of the camera work and not because of the sound design, which it does help, but because of the script. And a lot of people may find this movie boring. I know that my little brother would probably find this movie very boring because not a lot of things happen in it. You don't see the murder. The movie starts as the murder's happening, but you don't see it, and then it cuts to the characters as the movie or as the murder has been done. So you don't see the murder. There is no action. The only thing that happens in this movie is characters talking to each other, characters trying to figure out where the hell is David. And I loved it. The script was so good. I loved how they kept dotting things about David into the script that Brandon and Philip would say. Sometimes they'd make a joke alluding to that David was dead. Sometimes Brandon would be like, oh, I'm just killing some, like he'd say something and he'd say like the word killing in it, like alluding to it. I loved how just in general Brandon was just so proper and Philip was so kind of human, and I really liked that about the characters. But the script was just really good, and somehow for a movie that's only an hour and 20 minutes, it felt like a movie that was 5 minutes long for me for some reason. And the script just kept me in the movie the entire time. The script never once made me lose focus. The script never once made me go, oh, this is starting to drag out a little bit. This is so, I was so tense. There were some parts of the movie when everyone left, for example, when everyone left the house and Brandon closes the door in sighs of relief, the sigh of relief that I had, the amount of tension that left my body was insane. I don't think I've felt that in a long time. I remember watching Joker in theaters, and that's kind of how I felt, this like knot in my stomach for the entire movie, because I was like, oh my god, this sucks. But it was a different type of tension. This was a tension where for some reason I didn't want Brandon and Philip to get caught, even though I hated Brandon and I liked Philip. I for some reason didn't want to get them caught. Or maybe it was a tension where it was like, I really want them to get caught, but then I also didn't. I don't really know how to explain it, but as soon as Brandon closed the door, it was like, you know what I mean? It was just like I can breathe again, and that means that is masterful filmmaking, like making me feel these feelings, making me feel these emotions, and making me breathe with the characters when they breathe. That is master filmmaking. And the script, the camera work, the sound design in this movie was great. But you know what else was great? The action, or not the action, why did I say the action? The characters. But before I get to the characters, one thing that I was just kind of like just thinking about is just like, how did no one open the cabinet? How did no one open the chest? Like when they had it a little bit opened, did no one like see a little bit inside of it? And I know for sure if I was having the cabinet, I probably wouldn't have closed it. I would have been like, but why can't we just put it in here and open the whole thing? So yes, there were some points where I was like, okay, it feels like they're kind of forcing the cabinet closed at this point. Like it feels like they're forcing the characters to not open it in some way, but they did it in a way that was still very well written. So I didn't mind the fact that sometimes it did start to drag on, that the cabinet wasn't going to get open, that the chest, you know, I'm saying cabinet, but it was a chest. The chest wouldn't be opened. Yes, maybe it did drag on, but for me, I didn't mind it because that the ways that characters explained why not to open the chest worked for me for the most part. There were some times, again, when Brandon was like, no, do the books tomorrow. If I was the maid, I'd be like, why would I do them tomorrow? Let me just do them now. Like, what is your reasoning behind this? But she didn't question it, but that is fine with me. Anyways, getting into the characters now. The characters and the acting were amazing in this movie. I'm not going to talk about everyone, even though I probably could. Everyone was great. Kenneth Douglas Dick was great. Oh, David was Dick Hogan. Okay, well, I mean, he was great at dying, I guess. Joanne Chandler was really good as Janet. I really liked her as Janet, and I thought Kenneth and Janet played off each other really, really well. Rupert was amazing. Rupert was such a good character, and I didn't like him until the very end of the movie. I mean, I liked him, I guess, but his morals and his reasoning and his way of the world, I hated. I hated the way that he was kind of condoning murder in a way, and that he did have this idea that people are more superior than the others. I hated that, I hated that, I hated that. So I was kind of confused why I was supposed to root for him, or if I was supposed... Because the people you were supposed to root for was either Rupert or Brandon and Philip, and all three of those people were not very great people, but I'm so glad that James Stewart, Rupert, had a moment at the end where he realized that everything that he has been kind of telling people, everything that he has been kind of dreaming of, is not great in practice and is not great in real life. And he realized that, and he's definitely going to change his moral compass because of this. And I really like that for the character. I thought James Stewart did do a great job, but getting into the main two leads. We'll do Brandon first. I know Brandon was the lead of the two leads, but I'm going to do Brandon first because I hated him. So John Dall as Brandon did an amazing job as this hateable guy. I actually hated him. He had no emotions for the entire movie. Even at the end, when he was going to get caught and you can hear the police sirens and he's having a drink, it didn't look like he cared. I mean, it looked like he cared, but it looked like he didn't care that he was getting caught. He cared that his plan failed, and that just shows that there's no humanity in this man at all. And I really like the comparison between Brandon's suits and Philip's suits. Their whatever they were wearing, I'm gonna say their costumes for the movie at least. Brandon's suit was very clean cut. It was dark, it was clean cut, it was very fancy. And while Philip's suit maybe was fancy, it was more kind of a little bit too big for him, a little bit baggy, and I thought that kind of showed the humanity in Philip and the inhumanity in Brandon just through costuming alone, which was really cool. But I hated Brandon, but I thought John Dall did an amazing job. But Farley, Granger, is it Granger? I think it's Granger as Philip, did an amazing job as Philip. The humanity that you could feel from this guy, the way that you would root for him even though he just strangled David, was something that I was very I was very confused about. I was like, why am I rooting for this guy when he killed someone? But it was because he was so human. Because I was wondering, like, why am I not rooting for Brandon, but why am I rooting for Philip? It's because of the humanity. It's because Philip was showing remorse, showing emotion for killing David, and I really like that, the juxtaposition again between these two characters. One probably a true-bred killer, one just along for the ride who just happened to do something because Brandon is very manipulative and killed someone, and he feels like he wishes he says this in the movie, he wishes that he would wake up before the event had happened, right? So I really liked Philip's character. I thought he was very interesting, or not Philip's character, I guess Farley Granger's character, Philip. I thought he was very interesting, and I thought he played very well with Brandon and Rupert, these two more analytical, psychological people in a way. I just thought he did a great job. So yeah, that is my reaction and review of Rope. I could probably talk about this movie for a lot longer, but my review is getting a little long now, so I'm just gonna call it there. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me, supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. And thank you so much to Benny Ford for recommending me Rope. This movie was amazing. I loved it so much. It was so good, and I probably would never have watched it. I mean, I would have watched it eventually probably, but not this soon, and I'm so glad I watched it this soon. I'm so glad it was one of my first Hitchcock movies. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.